Hey everyone, Ian Marsh here. I'm really keen to share this information with you today. You're going to learn a lot of insights that took me many years to discover myself. And it really is my hope that if I do my job well, whatever the outcome, whether you think this is a great solution for you or not, you're going to get some game-changing insights that are going to have a big effect on your ability to generate the sort of incomes that you want to generate. So what we're going to do, we're going to kick into this. It is 11 o'clock and you're about to learn how to change the game by learning new skills as a highly paid, in-demand business consultant. So let's hook in, okay? I want you to think about why it is possible to build a 6 or 7 figure consulting practice. And I really want you to consider why it is that some people are making this sort of money and yet other people aren't. Okay, so my goal by the end of this is to help you understand that it really is possible, regardless of your background, that you have the ability and the right to generate whatever income level you desire and live whatever lifestyle you desire. You don't need to be confirmed by some university to deem you worthy of earning X amount of money. So to do that, I'm going to cover these key areas. So the 3-step consulting process, it really is very simple. I'll give you a case study of a 7-figure consultant, the qualifications required to succeed as a consultant. I'm going to explain how you can help business owners, even if you've never owned a business before, because that quite often is somebody's worry. And also I'm going to show you how it is possible to make 100K in 100 days. So stay tuned and you will have your eyes opened how people do achieve this and why it's not that hard. Okay, so before we hook in, one truth that I have learned, and that is that the only way for you to control your income level and lifestyle is for you to be self-employed. No ifs, buts, or maybe. So if you do have a job, then there's nothing that I hold against that, but understand that you have a master, okay? You have someone that will, or mistress, you have someone that can tell you what to do, how to do it, what you earn, when you work, and if that's what you would like, then that's great. However, I want to have the ability to determine my own income levels and my own lifestyle, and the only way to do that is to work for yourself. Now, I believe that business consulting is the simplest, most lucrative and personally rewarding career on the planet. Those of you that don't know me, I have been around the block a time or two, and I've worked in just about every industry and niche you can imagine. And I have come to this conclusion, and I would like to say that I'm not biased. You can make your own conclusion. So let's hook into the first principle I wanted to cover, and that is the 3-step consulting process. And it really is this simple, okay? 3 questions, okay? You go to a client, you say, okay, well, what do you want? Okay, how clear are they about what they want? And ironically, very few people really know. And then once you really help them determine what they want, you then ask them, well, what's been stopping you getting it? And then the final question is, well, let's make a plan to make that happen, shall we? That's it. That's as complicated as this business model is. I told you it was simple. So how about we use these 3 questions and you apply it to yourself? I hope you've all got pen and paper because I'm going to do my best to give you some big takeaways today. So the first question that we apply, well, what area do you want to improve? In other words, what do you want? You want to improve the time that you're spending working or having more control over your life? Or are you wanting to make more money? Or perhaps you want a more rewarding and fulfilling career. What is it? Why don't you just write that down? Okay, what is it that you really want? Why are you on this call today? Okay, so now that you've worked that out, the next question is, well, what's been stopping you? Is it because you don't have clear goals? Is it because you're being controlled by other people's opinions? And many of them, and it really saddens me, many people that are close to you and love you sadly derail you achieving the goals and your potential. Is it knowledge? You don't know how to achieve the result that you're after? Is it your own limiting beliefs? You think, man, I could never, ever achieve that. Or is it resources? Now, even though you may not think it, very rarely, I would say maybe in 10% of cases, it really comes down to resources. 95% of the time, it's those first four. So what's been stopping you? Okay, write that down. What do you think the key thing is that's stopping you from getting what you want yet? And that brings us to the third question. What's your make it happen plan? Okay, now that you've said, okay, well, I know what I want more time to be with my family. I want to have a higher income, maybe around about 200-300K. And now I just want a plan to make it happen. So what I'm going to do is by the end of this, hopefully help you develop a plan. Okay. And it's got to have a few criteria. I'll share my plan with you, and you may evolve and modify it to your own purposes. So bottom line is you should never be worried about getting laid off, providing for your family, or covering the mortgage. And the reason a lot of people worry about that is because most people have never been taught how to generate their own income. I think it's a conspiracy, but we better not go into that. And that obviously causes stress because you've never learned how to generate your own money. You've always been taught by society to let someone else pay you in the majority of cases. So how about we take back control? How about you develop the ability to generate your own income? You develop your own income levels. So the problem we're looking at right here is the average income in Australia is around about 70K. I think it's about 76,000 if the truth be told. And let's just say your first milestone, it would be great if you were making at least 150K. So the question just becomes how? What are the steps? And so with that in mind, here are some simple principles. Number one, how about you learn high-paying skills? Okay, and here are the 3 highest paying skills on the planet, ladies and gentlemen. Mastering marketing, mastering sales, and learning to leverage other people's time, money, and knowledge. They are the 3 highest paying skills on the planet. I haven't got time to go into them all here, but knowing that, how good are you with marketing skills? Do you have the ability at the moment to generate interest at will? If somebody is interested, how good are you at converting them with a sales system or a sales process? And then with your leverage, are you leveraging other people's time to help you get ahead, or other people's money so that you can expand the amount of money that you can generate in a day or an hour? And what about knowledge? Well, you're actually leveraging knowledge now. You're leveraging my knowledge to help you fast track the results that you want to achieve. But they're the 3 highest paying skills on the planet. So that's the first part. The next part of the plan is understanding that you want a business that is recession proof. It's got the potential to make 6 or 7 figures, requires low capital, no staff, and you actually get paid for helping people succeed. Now, I put that one in because I love helping people succeed. So if you knew that you could have that type of business and you could generate those skills, would you be willing to put the effort in to make it happen? Well, hopefully it's time for you to change the game. And I'm just going to show you a few game changer examples here so you can understand that people from all walks of life do this. Vincent, salesperson. Scott, now he's now got the most successful building company in Rockhampton. Matt sold cabanas with about 40 staff, and now he makes more money just with himself and 1 or 2 people. Glenn was an admin in real estate. He's now the most successful real estate coach in Australia. Simon was already a very successful business consultant, but he's now taken it to a whole new level. Jarno was a horse rider that flew 40 hours from Belgium to come and see me and learn these skills. And literally within about 4 months was making more. He's one of the top horse riders in the world, Jarno is. But within about 4 months, he was making more money from what I taught him in consulting than he was with his horse riding business in Belgium. I could go on. Susie, Saffron, single mum. Ian had a security firm. Tracy and Yvette was single mum. I go on and on and on. Struggling consultant, couldn't make his consulting business work. Mark, I'm actually going to talk to you more about him. Irene's an engineer. Christine did an MBA. She's actually got 3 degrees. Peter was doing billion-dollar developments in Dubai until the GFC, and then was dead broke. Okay, so they come from all. By the way, Colin's a 7-figure consultant as well. He rang me the other day to tell me. So they do come from all walks of life, ladies and gentlemen. But now they have the greater skill because they have the ability to generate income at will. And so when you can do that, your stress levels disappear. So here's your simple success plan. Develop high-paying skills. Start a business with low overheads and capital requirements that can generate, say, $300K. I think that's a good goal to start off with. Have a mentor to guide you. And I put that in because I know how important it is to have a mentor and be absolutely committed to your success. And arguably, number 4 is more important than the other 3 put together. Okay, so let's speak about Mark. This is a case study that I'll share with you, have a bit of fun with it. So this gentleman, Mark, an engineer, he was a typical story, I guess. Engineer, very frustrated with life. He went past Dymix and bought a copy of my book, The Inconvenient Truth About Business Success, rang me up, and we had a conversation. And so before he became street smart, he was working 16-hour days. He's one of the top engineers in Australia, by the way, making around about 100K. Not appreciated at work, driving to and from work with no control over the hours worked. If they said, you're coming in on Sunday, he said, okay, I'll be there in 30 minutes. He wanted to get his business idea up and running. And so he took some time out from work and hired another so-called business consultant and did not do too well. Okay. In 6 months, he'd only sold $7,000 in horse syndicate with his business. However, he paid his so-called consultant a hell of a lot of money than that, more money than that 7K. So here's what happened. Okay. Have a look at the dates. All right. So I started training him 28th November 2016. He did the advisor training. He learned how to get leads. Remember, that was the marketing side. He learned how to convert them. That's the sales side. And he learned how to help business owners improve the results in their business. And that's the optimization side. So after the training, this is what he had to say.
Hi, my name is Mark Burkhardt. Look, I've just finished the Business Advisors course with Ian. To be honest with you, after doing the course, I still can't believe the information I did get from you. I actually do feel that my life has changed and I've just got a whole new way to look at life. I feel free for the first time in my life, where before I was working for 9-to-5 jobs. Well, now I just believe life can be run at the way I wish to do it. And that's something I'll never, I can't say enough thanks for. And I thank you. And look, if anyone's interested in doing the course, I couldn't recommend any other course higher than this one. And thank you very much, Ian.
Now, that's all well and good, and that's a very lovely testimonial that he shared with us all. But he didn't know what he didn't know. He didn't know the power of the skills that he just learned. So see that date, 28th of November 16. Now have a look at this. 5th of January 2017. He sent out the marketing templates as directed. He got a great response to them, as I've got 15 marketing strategies and they're all great. And he reported that he was going to talk to the prospect tomorrow. That's just one of the marketing pieces there. So 11th of January, converted the prospect using sales system. Agreement signed, $5,000 per month plus upside. He charges more than I do. Okay, so I charge my clients between $3,000 and $5,000 a month, depending on what I do with them, and a percentage of the upside. So don't worry about starting off small. He just said, well, if Ian can charge $5K, so can I. He used our sales process and our sales system. And then he set it to work. So January 17, started implementing referral strategies, looked at pricing, did efficiency analysis, looked at the team they had, and a number of other processes he learned for his business optimization. And the results were, he had a board meeting with his clients. The business improved 30%. Notice the date again, April. So January, February, March, April. So in 90 days, the business had improved 30%. And he had an even bigger opportunity around the corner, which he did close. So he'd been applying the street smart strategies for consulting. He also applied them to his own horse syndication business. And within a very short period of time, he'd sold $300,000 in shares in his horse syndication business. And bottom line was, I actually bought one of his horses from him. So, I must have taught him good sales skills, I can tell you that. And so here's the end result. In just 12 weeks, so he became an advisor, learned the fundamentals of copywriting, learned core online marketing principles, and went very deep with Facebook, sold over 300,000 in syndicate shares. And clients are paying him $5,000 a month and giving him part of their business. He works largely with accountants and lawyers these days, but there's a bigger story here. So he works 5 to 6 hours a day now instead of 12 and 14-hour days. More than tripled his income, is sought after as the expert and the authority now in his field, controls his life. He's built a multi-million-dollar business. You can check it out, Regal Bloodstock, if you check it out online. He hangs around with Jerry Harvey and all the hobnobs as well. But most importantly, he's doing what he loves, okay? That's the power of these skills and this knowledge. So what's better? Driving an hour or more to and from work, being told what to do, having your income determined for you? Or is it better for you to work from home, spend time with your family, determine your income, live life on your terms, not someone else's? So I very rarely leave my property, ladies and gentlemen. You can probably understand why. In a month, I'd lucky be leaving my property 3 hours a month, 4 hours a month. And it wasn't always like this, but the only reason I live this life now is simply because I learned these skills from a gentleman very much like myself many, many years ago, back in the year 2000. So why are my students so successful? Well, I'll share our secret. Now, it's proven systems. That's all it boils down to. If you can follow a system, you can get a similar result. So check this out. Let me prove my point. I want you to choose a square, any square. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's blue or it's red. And I need you to listen very carefully to the instructions. Okay, so you ready? Listen very carefully. So choose a blue square, okay? Any blue square that's on this screen. Move right or left to the nearest red square. Now move up or down to the nearest blue square. Move diagonal to the nearest red square. Now move right or down to the nearest blue square. So out of all of these squares that you could have chosen, if you listened carefully, you ended up on this one. Now, why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I hope I've proven my point. It's proven systems. They're so reliable, so effective that you get predictable results. So coming down to the system, this applies to whatever business opportunity you want to look for, whether you're thinking of working with me or whether you're looking at another business to invest in. They must have these critical systems. A reliable, predictable, affordable lead generation system, a very powerful, predictable sales system, and a very effective delivery system. In other words, a keeping your promises system, so that, okay, you might get somebody's money, but you have to more than deliver on what their expectations are these days. So you've got to ensure the greatest currency on the planet today is your reputation, and it can get destroyed if you do not fulfill. So this is Christine, a beautiful lady. She's got 3 degrees. Just have a listen to what she has to say about the training.
Hi, my name is Christine Vernon, and I've been part of the Street Smart Business Advisors program, and I found I've learned a whole lot of stuff in marketing that I've never even thought about or even knew. I've been through a university, done 3 degrees, and it's not taught me anything about marketing at all, done an MBA, which is just hopeless. And what I've learned today, for the last week or so has been just fabulous. I've learned so much of marketing that I can use for my own clients and for my own business. It's going to make me $1 million. Thank you.
Now, again, this is no just eye in the sky sort of thing. She's a very accomplished lady, and she did go on to achieve that goal. I've taught many MBAs, and they all have very, very similar comments, by the way. So I'm going to show you behind the scenes of my consulting practice and show you how you can really realistically build one for yourself. It's the only business model that I know of that, regardless of age, education, or background, the little guy can still win, or gal. You don't need a degree. It requires low capital, low overheads, and little to no staff. Gives you the ability to determine your own income levels. And to prove that, I'm just going to share a little bit about me for 2 minutes so you know that I may have the right to share this information with you. So my parents were married 7 times between them. I left home at 14, straight C student, told can't by everybody. Okay, can't get an apprenticeship because I didn't have the grades. Can't get into the commandos because I didn't have the build for it. Can't start my own company because I didn't go to uni. I mean, it just goes on and on. These were my mother's humble beginnings, believe it or not. My mum's the tall one. She grew up in that little bag hut in a town called Mumble. She lived on the land, and the water was around about 700 meters away, as I get told constantly by my mum. Okay, so that's where I lived for many, many years until I learned these skills. Not that big mansion at the front, that garage at the back there with 2 other people in that garage. This was my electrical work vehicle running on 3 cylinders. And this was the site that I came home to just about every day because I had no money to buy food. Okay, so no money, no customers, and no clue at age 35. 2 things happened. One, it took me from $136 a day, that's what I was making at that time, to $10,958 a day. And I met this beautiful lady, my wife, Jenny, and I knew I wanted to marry her. I also knew that I was not worthy, and I would have said no to me if I proposed to me. So the second thing that happened was within days, I met this gentleman, my first mentor, Mel Emery. And he was the one that provided a path. So I met him at a money expo. And again, at the time, I wasn't making any money. And I knew that this person, for the bargain basement price of $997, would give me the keys to a new life if I could join his coaching group. Okay. Now, I had 2 choices here. You know, at the time, I was making very little money and I needed to pay $997 to this guy. How was I going to do it? I would just say, well, I can't because I just earned jack. Or how can I do it? And I went for option 2. And lucky I did, because within 3 years, I built one of the largest air conditioning companies in Australia. And I went on to build 5 multi-million-dollar companies. So I only tell you that so you have an understanding that I may know what I'm talking about here. And again, this is where I'm speaking to you from right now. The frustrating thing was it took me 15 years to discover how to determine my own income level and lifestyle. And I'm going to hopefully fast track that from 15 years to 60 minutes. I'm going to reveal the game change that allowed me and those I've trained to determine our own income levels. So I hope you're taking notes. I hope you've gotten takeaways already on this. Okay, so let's speak to a big bugbear that many people think about, and that is, well, what qualifications do you need to be a consultant? I don't know if you know this or recognize this character, Leonardo da Vinci. DiCaprio. He did a movie, Catch Me If You Can, and he depicted Frank Abagnale. And what happened, this guy impersonated so many people, impersonated a pilot, impersonated a lawyer, impersonated a professor at a leading university. And they sat down with him one day after, because he did eventually get caught and the FBI handed him a job, believe it or not, because he was so good at what he did. And they asked him and said, how did you manage to teach a whole class of students this advanced, course? You'd never done the training before. He said, I just had to stay 1 chapter ahead of the class. So he just got the syllabus, read the chapter, taught that chapter. And again, that's what I want all of you to understand. When you break it down into small chunks, it's not that hard to be able to help people. You just need to stay one chapter ahead. Here's a few other people that didn't have qualifications. Dick Smith, okay, they believe that he was mentally retarded. He came 45th out of a class of 47. Jerry Harvey. Now, I know Jerry. He's one of my business heroes. Both of them are my business heroes. And he was a door-to-door vacuum salesperson and went on to become one of our leading entrepreneurs. Janice Ellis, she spoke at our stage, I believe, a while ago. And she had no formal training. And now look what she's done with Boost Juice. So none of them said, oh, I can't succeed because I don't have qualifications. What they had was a burning desire to change, a burning desire to create something. So if you've got a burning desire to succeed, if you can commit at least 10 hours a week into developing new skills, if you can follow a proven system, and you're willing to invest in yourself regardless of the opinion of others, that's largely all you really need to succeed. Have a listen to Tracy and Yvette when they finished the training that I did with them.
Hi, I'm Tracy Eaton.
I'm Yvette Shoulders.
And we're Street Smart Business Advisors. Now, before we joined the program, we'd actually hit rock bottom in our business. We've been in business since 2007. We were at zero, and in fact, well, less than zero. We invested well over $100,000 of our own money into our business and into other training that hadn't worked. So, with help from Mal and Ian, we decided to join the Business Advisor program.
The first 8 months, we went from below zero to earning a six-figure income.
Now, our lifestyles improved dramatically. We're able to be there for our kids, be great role models for them as well for now and the future, which is very exciting. And we've achieved some great results for clients, including best sales day in a 33-year history, 17% response rates on campaigns, a confident business owner that now does her own marketing campaign.
If you're considering the program, I recommend you check it out. It has been a great opportunity for us to achieve our goals.
And we're looking forward to adding more zeros to our business.
And they did. In fact, last year they took out Leading Businesswoman of the Year in WA. So I'm very proud of those two ladies.
Hi, I'm Tracy.
Okay, so that's about all I've got to say about that. So now let's speak to your ability to help business owners, even if you've never owned a business. I'm going to give you an actual example here. You're going to be the consultant. Now, the misconception is that you need to be the best accountant or the best marketer or the best web designer, maybe the best digital marketer or the best copywriter for you to be able to help people. Well, that's all phooey, okay? I'm going to prove it to you now. See, all you need to do is be a good detective. All your role is as a consultant is to look at what's going on in a company, see the components that are missing, and then plug them in. So what we want to do is develop a team, and obviously I have a team that you can utilize to fix whatever problems you see happening in a business. So I'm going to knight all of you temporary consultants for around about 3 to 5 minutes. So imagine that you've going to get a client. You've implemented the marketing strategies in our system. Someone says yes, they're interested. What you need to do before you even say, okay, I'll try to win your business, you want them to perceive you as the expert and the authority. So we give you the tools to do that. We give you the white label rights to your very own book. We give you 15 very powerful white papers that speak to just about every challenge that business owners have. And when they receive these assets, it instantly catapults you to become an expert and an authority. So we're going to imagine that Susan Collins responded to you with your marketing because she wanted to sell more books. She says, please help me. I'll pay you $3,000 a month, but I need to sell more books. So you get your detective mode on and you start investigating the business and you say, well, let's start off with your website, shall we? And this was her, now I haven't checked it recently, but this was her website about a year ago. And as I think you may determine, it could use a bit of help. Okay, so the problem I have deduced that you have a very poor website and we need to improve it. Now, I'm assuming that most of you don't know how to build a website to create a really amazing online solution for people. But it doesn't matter, and I'll show you why. We look at the problem, bad website. What's the solution? Good website. You say, how the heck am I going to do that? I've never learned how to create a website before. It doesn't matter that you don't know how. What matters is that you know who, okay? What matters is that you know who to go to. And again, I hope that pen's writing lots of notes here, because I'm going to just give you a website that you should check out if you don't know about it. It's called Fiverr.com. And so if you go to that website, you will be able to find experts in just about every industry and niche you can imagine. Now, I warn you, there is a process that you should use, which we teach you before utilizing any outsourced expert. But you can see here, I typed in WordPress builder or website designer, I think I built, and I found 3,232 people saying, yes, I can help you, all for varying amounts. So do you understand that you don't need to know the how? All you need to do is know the who. No one can know everything. I mean, I am pretty good at what I do, but there is no way I know everything about everything. Okay, don't tell my wife that, but it's just impossible for you to be an expert in every niche. But what if you learned 110 ways to generate leads, 65 ways to boost sales conversion, 53 ways to increase the average dollar sale in a business, 68 ways to increase profit margins, 55 ways to increase the frequency of purchase in a business, 38 ways to increase the lifetime value of a client, or 57 different ways to get more referrals? Do you think you may have the ability to help a business owner? Check this guy out, Niels. So he came to me, and I love this guy. He came to me because he tried everything. He tried affiliate marketing, online marketing, copywriting, multi-level marketing, all of these ideas, because all he wanted to do was make enough money so that his wife could retire from teaching, because she was putting in massive hours, and he wanted her to be a full-time mum, and she wanted to be a full-time mum. So he did the training with me. Within 30 days, he had his first client. And he saved them, in the first 2 consults, he saved them over $100,000 on their bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, just straight off the bat. Now, I'm pleased to say he's one of my most successful advisors. He's amazing. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend him to anyone. And his clients, their results are staggering. Staggering. We're talking improvements of hundreds and hundreds of % in the businesses that he's helping. He was a fitter machinist. Okay, that was his background. So the checklist to get results: just use a great problem finding system, which is our optimization system. Identify the problem and focus on the who, not the how. Okay, and that's how you'll get results to improve a business. Now, the key one that I'm going to cover off on now, which maybe most of you are here for, is how do you make the money? So I'm going to just show you how it is possible to make 100K in 100 days. So before I do that, we need to do 3 things. Number 1, I need to deprogram your thought processes. Number 2, I need you to understand why people get paid different amounts for the work they do. And number 3, I want to give you an insight to help you choose a better business vehicle. So the first one is deprogramming your mind. See, you all have a life you live which you think is reality. And I can tell you now that what you think is reality is actually a fantasy. And I'm doing my level best to help you understand that you can create a new reality. Other people have done it, and you can too. So why is it that 80% of people sort of make the $76,000 range of income and only 20% become millionaires and multimillionaires? It's simply because of the thoughts and the beliefs that have been planted in our minds ever since we were born. And your parents, God love them, they believed in one thing: get out there, get good grades in school, go get a job, work hard, save your money, and one day you'll be able to pay off your home and retire. Whereas other families, they've got different knowledge, and so they teach their children different concepts, and so they understand how it is possible for you to determine whatever result you want, okay? We must get rid of your limiting beliefs. So now, the big secret that most of society don't want you to know is that you need to choose a better business vehicle for you to achieve your financial goals. Most people get along in a jalopy, which is swapping time for money, or in other words, low income. What I want you to learn to do is get paid for outcome, get into a racing car, and they're high income skills. So you get rewarded for outcome, not time. Look at this person. I don't care how good a hamburger he can make. I don't care how much he smiles. I don't care how much he says, would you like fries with that? This company cannot afford to pay more than probably $30 an hour for that person to do that role. Fact. Okay, if they want to make more money, guess what? They need to go out and work for themselves. Do not swap time for money. This lady, Saffron, love her to death. When she came to Australia from England with her husband, and shortly after they split up, and she was a single mum, was really struggling. The husband or ex did not do much to help support. And so she needed something quickly because she only had a few resources behind her. So when I met her, she was struggling to make 50K. She did the training with me, and she literally had a first client before she finished the training. First paying client. I kid you not. The only one I know that's done that, by the way, because the client rang them. I was like, okay, I want to work with you while we were in the training. Now, that figure that you see there, far in excess. When she started, I asked everyone, what do you want to achieve? She says, well, I never want to be in the situation where I can get kicked out of my house again. And I want to take my children on the holiday of a lifetime to Disney World. And I said, when is that going to happen? And she set a target for 12 months. And exactly 12 months later, at Christmas time, she had her kids over in Disney World. And when she came back, she got her home. And now she's just doing amazing things. One amazing lady, Saffron. And she was an administrator in the UK. That was her background. So why do people get paid different amounts for what they do? Well, people get paid for the perceived value that they provide society. So let's have a look at this problem here. This guy here is having a lot of trouble finding the woman of his dreams, okay? He can't get a date. So what are people willing to pay to solve that problem? Well, I did some research, and people are happy to pay between $15,000 and $30,000 to find that special someone, because you're going to solve a problem for them. And my suspicions are people would be happy to pay much more than that. So problem, solution, value, money. Okay, here's another example, and this is why advisors get paid so well. So a business owner needs to make more profits in their business. So what part of a profit would they be willing to pay that they never would have had without you is the question. So let's just say they're doing $2 million in turnover, and you can help them add $300,000 profit on a risk-free basis. The question, I say to you, okay, you give me $36,000 now, and I'll give you $200,000 or say $300,000 in return. Would you take that deal? I don't know what your answer is, but I'm hoping it's yes, okay? And that is why consultants get paid so well, because we give business owners the opportunity to make more money, far in excess of what they ever pay us. And so now, again, this is probably what many of you are here for, to try and understand how consultants make so much money. So firstly, you need to have that reliable, predictable lead generation system, which luckily we have, okay? So you'll launch that. But here's the cool thing about our industry. You only need to have 6 clients for you to make a great income. So let's imagine you've used the marketing systems, you've got the 6 clients, and they're each paying you $3,000 a month. And when you've got a client, ladies and gentlemen, it varies, but generally you might spend about 2 to 3 hours a week with each one. So if 6 people are paying you $3,000 a month, that works out to $216,000 per annum. You're doing, say, 20 to 30 hours a week with them. And for this situation, let's just imagine that their turnover, each of their companies is doing $5 million in turnover. That means that the group turnover is $30 million. And you've helped them get a 10% improvement combined. So that means a $3 million improvement on these businesses. So without you, they would not have achieved that. So the question will be, would you mind me just receiving a small percentage of that $3 million for my help? And in this case, 3%. So that works out to $90,000, and we call that contingency. So you share in the upside of the business that you help. So this 100K in 100 days, I want to show you how possible it is. Let's just say you got just one client a month. They're paying you $3,000 a month or $36,000 a year. 3 months, 3 clients, that's $108,000. Forget the contingency money in addition to that. And there's your 100K in 100 days, ladies and gentlemen. Who likes that? Okay. So let me break it down a little bit further. So you got 6 clients. Over the year, they pay you $216,000, working 20 to 30 hours a week. Contingency, $90,000. So that is a return of $306,000, okay, for doing 20 to 30 hours a week of work, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the first business goal that I set for my students when we start working together. Do you like that? So now some of you might be saying, well, how hard is it to do that? What a great question. So what you see here is an activity calculator. I'm just going to show you the effort required for you to achieve a certain result. So let's say you are charging $3,000 a month. That means a sale is worth $36,000 a year. Okay, 12 times 3,000. Let's just say that you want to be earning $300,000 for the year. And let's say that your presentation skills, now many of my advisors report a 70% plus conversion rate, but I'm not going to promise you any conversion rates and I can't promise you any results. Let's just say that you need to develop those skills. So you only get 1 sale in 5, okay? So you got a 20% conversion rate. So you got to make 5 presentations to get 1 sale. Make sense so far? And let's say that for you just to get a presentation, you've got to actually talk to 10 business owners, okay? We'll assume for the sake of this that you're really hungry and you're willing to work 5 days a week and you'll work 48 weeks of the year. Number of working days in a week, 48. So you have 4 weeks holiday and you'll work 5 days a week. So for you to make $300,000 in 12 months, you need to contact 2 business owners a day. Do you think that's possible, ladies and gentlemen? It's just maths, okay? And this calculator is very accurate. So with that being said, now you're seeing the size of the task and you're starting to understand why I've been able to help so many people create 6- and 7-figure consulting practices for themselves. What we've done is we've covered the 3-step consulting process. We've covered how to take back control. I've shown you how it's possible for people to make 100K in 100 days. And hopefully you now understand it's far better to get paid for outcome, not time. So now here's an important question. What are we really here for? Isn't it so that you can spend time with your family and do the things that you want to do? Well, it took me 15 years again to start to understand that. I hope I've shortened that learning curve down for you. I've helped builders, school teachers, engineers, accountants, farmers, single mums, real estate agents, MBAs, OBEs, bricky labourers, salespeople, scientists, IT consultants, retirees, start-againers. Whew, that's hard work. And those people, start-againers, they're people that think they're pretty well set. A lot of them are in their 50s and 60s, and they think they'll be right for retirement, and they make one wrong move and they lose everything and have to start again. I've helped horse trainers as well, such as Jarno. All of them I've helped create very successful consulting practices. So would you like to know how we do it? Is that okay if I share that with you? Well, before I do, I'm just going to share one last quick case study with you of Helen. Now, Helen is in a unique occupation. She is an artificial inseminator. She makes cattle pregnant, okay? And it's quite amazing what she does. She uses this glove and that arm goes where I don't expect it to. And she works massive hours doing that. A little background on her, late 40s, 0 business skills, computer skills 3 out of 10, and I'm being generous. Sales skills 2 out of 10, I'm still being generous. 70-hour work weeks, and I'm kid you not, she probably does more than that. Works 7 days a week. That's her life. Now, in just 8 weeks, she had her branding photos done, got her first book published, got 6 leads, 2 of them very hot, massively improved her sales skills, learned to outsource and build a team, created her social media presence, taken her skills to 6.5 out of 10, sales skills to 7 out of 10, 2 paying clients. And by the way, if it wasn't for her, one of those clients, it's a garage company, their results have increased 500 or 600%, I believe, since she started working with them. They would have been out of business now if she did not come into their life. And all of that simply by learning some simple skills and having me be there by her side to help her with her client. Okay. That is her. Isn't she beautiful? So that's Helen, and all of that in just 8 weeks. So the only reason she managed to do it were 3 things. She had the right attitude. I cannot stress that enough. The right systems and the right mentor, because I do care, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there are 4 critical systems, as I said earlier, that you've got to have. The lead generation system, the sales system, and the delivery system, but most importantly, a serious desire to succeed. Now, if this all sounds good and you've stayed with me so far, there's a good chance you might like me to help you achieve these results with what's going on. So the reason I'm doing this webinar is I've got another intake happening on the 5th, 6th, and 7th of March. It's an online training. What happens is you do weekly Q&As with me. You spend 3 days online with me. The results are spectacular, believe it or not. And the only reason they're online is because of this crazy COVID thing. When it all lifts, you'll be coming to live workshops included in the training again. You have monthly mastery training so that you're constantly upskilling your abilities. You get our business optimization, online marketing and sales mastery system. When you get your first client, I'm there with you and your client for the first 3 calls so that you're not on your own, so that we help them together and you build that confidence. You get our 15 proven lead generation systems, both online and offline, our no selling sales system, the Street Smart Business Optimization system, the membership site, mobile access to me so that you can get an urgent response when you need it. The white label rights to all of the assets that I showed you earlier, including your very own book, so you're an instant expert and authority. And your branding package. Again, we make you look like $1 million. Now, here's the thing I want you to understand is I do work with you side by side, hand in hand. I don't know if any of you have bought information courses before, got membership sites before, say, you too can be a genius and make all this money. I don't know about you, but I find that I need someone there to hold me accountable, to help me through those times of uncertainty, to actually help facilitate me developing, learning, and implementing the knowledge. So part of why, again, my students are so successful is, quite honestly, I'm a professional butt kicker. You tell me what happens is when we work together, you tell me what you want to achieve. It could be just $100,000 a year. Well, we'll reverse engineer what's required. We'll develop the right marketing systems that you want to implement. Many of them low cost and no cost. We have weekly implementation steps that you take. You have your conversations with me so that I hold you accountable to your own success. And what do you know? Surprise, surprise, so many of my students actually succeed. So here's the next steps, ladies and gentlemen. If you're really enjoying this, I want to have a conversation with you. You should see a button come up. This is a link to the training. This is a link to you having a conversation with me and for us to see if we're a good fit. If we are, I'll tell you. If we're not, I'll also tell you, because it's not, for me, my motivation is not just about the money. That's why I only work with a handful of people. And I largely just amuse myself with what I do. But I am very, very committed to your success. So you hit that button, that discovery call button, and that'll just have a few questions that you answer. We'll have a conversation, and then you and I may be working together, and I can help you build your own six-figure consulting practice. Now, when we start working together, the system's so effective, you're actually going to have your first client before you even start the training. And by the time you leave the training, over those 3 days, I promise you will know how to generate leads at will, convert them into clients, and most importantly, be able to help those clients, okay? Most importantly, my initial goals for you is to recapture your entire investment within the first 90 to 120 days of training. Then for you to hit the six-figure mark within your first 240 days of training, and to be at the $150,000 level by the end of your first year. And I will work with you side by side. And quite honestly, I know that the system works. The only thing I don't know is if you do. But if you know that you are committed and you're willing to put the work in, and you do want to have these sorts of results, then I'd love to help you. Now, this is the branding. We make you look $1 million. And so you may be entitled to us doing your branding for you. We can just talk about that on the call. But that's another one of my mid six-figure business consultants in Sydney. He's now built up one of the most successful fitness businesses in New South Wales. Quite amazing. Now, also, largely, as I said to you earlier, if you've wanted a higher income, if you wanted to have your own business, if you wanted to achieve these sorts of things, one of the questions I asked right at the beginning was, why haven't you got it yet? And one of those key things was resources. Much like me when I first met Mal, I didn't have the resources. So for some of you, we may be able to help finance you into this. And also, for some of you, if you do have an ABN, there's a chance that you can get this fully financed and not have to make any payments for 3 months, which is pretty darn cool. And then just have small monthly payments after that. So it should be a cash flow positive business from the get-go for you. So how many clients would you need to cover the investment? Well, really only one, but to double the investment, 2. Okay, 2 clients. That's all you need. Not hundreds, not thousands of clients, just 2. We make you look like $1 million so that you get perceived as the expert and the authority in your field. And most importantly, when we do the training, on the first day, if you're not amazed at the wealth of information, and if you don't think this was the best thing you've ever done, I'll give you your money back. Here are just a few ideas for you. If you came on here to learn more about business and you're weighing up the pros and cons of starting a consulting practice against other opportunities where you can make 300K, here's a few options for you. You could get a franchise. Now, as you know, right now, my heart goes out to all of these cafes and restaurants. It's pretty tough on them. But for you to get involved in something like that, you're looking at $300,000 or $400,000 and paying a constant franchise fee to your franchisor, okay? And then you're only making about $100,000 a year. You could get a gym, but again, you're looking at probably a minimum 200 plus and pay a franchise fee for a lot of them. And again, making between $70,000 and $100,000 for that. You may be into burgers. And if you are, well, the minimum investment is $1.5 million in cash. And the majority of those people that own those burger joints that you may be thinking of right now, they generally make about $250K for tying up $1.5 million. So if all this did was give you the freedom to work where you want and with whom you want, would it be worth it? Well, here's your checklist to see if this could be the right opportunity for you. If you've got a burning desire to succeed, if you can commit at least 10 hours a week to developing these new high-paying skills, if you can follow a proven system, which means you're coachable, and you're willing to invest in yourself, regardless of the opinion of others, then this would be one of the best decisions you could possibly make if you're ready to start a business of your own. Again, here are just a few of the success stories. I could triple that. Quite honestly, I could triple that wall of fame if I felt so inclined. So just one last thing, I guess, for you. I'll just recap what you get, and then I'll show you a few examples of people and what they have to say about the program. So it is a 3-day online program. It starts on the 5th, 6th, and 7th of March. So it's around about, 3 weeks away. It's my whole consulting business. I work with you and implement my consulting business into your business. You get my lead generation system, my sales conversion system, the business optimization system, the Street Smart membership site, weekly Zoom calls, white label rights to your own book, 3 mentoring calls with your clients. So I'm going to work, when you get your very first client, one of the biggest challenges is confidence. So I work with you and your first client so that we can help get those results together, and you haven't got your heart in your throat while you're trying to work with them. The Street Smart branding package. And you also get a ready-made online consulting funnel where people can go and they can, apply to work with you. Now, it does require a program called ClickFunnels, and that is a paid program. So for me to provide you this consulting funnel, you do need ClickFunnels. But it is not a must. It is just a very nice thing, a ready-made, when you're ready, a tool for you to utilize. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd love you to listen to just a few people who've gone before you. And again, hit the button where it says Discovery Call. Just click that button and have a time to talk to me. And again, we'll see if and how I may be able to help you achieve what you want to achieve. So here, we'll kick this off with Peter. Have a listen to these guys.
I had a big project management business that I had started in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and the GFC killed it. It was a mid-7-figure business, and then owed a lot of money, so I came back to Australia. I managed to get a consulting role for a large public company in resources, and at the beginning of last year they went bankrupt, owing me another ton of money after having spent 7 days a week running a big project for them. Owed literally millions of dollars, and thought, not doing corporate again. I'm over 50, and then of course after all of that, it's very difficult. You can't get a job. The only option is obviously figure out what can you do for yourself. First time I got the email from Ian, it was to actually have a system to earn 6 or 7 figures and have a life. I thought, wow, that sounds really good, and it's something that I can do. There's a cost to even doing Ian's course, and at the time I was owed so much money and I didn't have it, but I signed up anyway and figured one way or another I'll get it. After 12 months it was almost like a light switch, learning how to work with the right client and attract them to you. Then it's really started to ramp up very quickly in the last few months. Very much on track to mid-6 figures again. Writing compelling copy and then someone gives you money. That's quite a nice thing.
Hello, my name is Scott Kilpatrick, and I've got a company called Affordable Quality Homes, and I wanted to send you this email to say thank you. I know nobody's asked me, and nobody's suggested that I should do, I don't know what you'd call this, a testimonial, I suppose. I just really wanted to say thank you for all the Street Smart advisors have done for my company. It's made a massive change. Not only are we running very profitably, extremely profitably, in fact. It's made such a dramatic change there with our marketing and our systems, but also Street Smart has made it so for the first time in our lives, my wife and I can have time off and big result.
So what sort of dollars are we talking about? What do you call a big result?
Oh, I'd say it's increased our sales per month. A combination of these strategies by the tune of $300,000 a month.
Hi, my name's Chantel Mader. I'm winner of the Street Smart Business Advisor of the Year, and I'm here in fabulous Cook Islands. And I just wanted to share some of my experience with you in being a business advisor. If you're thinking about becoming a business advisor, obviously, I won this trip with the Cook Islands in taking out Business Advisor of the Year and get to share that with my husband. So I'm absolutely stoked about that. But just some of the things, if you're considering in becoming a business advisor, it really is a great lifestyle. You get to jet all around the country and stay in fabulous hotels, and you get to make a real bottom line difference, not only, to the business people that you work with, and you get to help their families as a consequence, and there's nothing more rewarding than that. As well as, you get great support from the team at Street Smart. Ian, all you have to do is ring up the office and get an appointment with Ian if you're not sure about something. And of course, you've got your other business advisors that you can call on as well.
Hi, my name is Christine Vernon, and I've been part of the Street Smart Business Advisors program, and I found that I've learned a whole lot of stuff in marketing that I've never even thought about or even knew. I've been through a university, done 3 degrees, and it's not taught me anything about marketing at all. Done an MBA, which is just hopeless. And what I've learned today for the last week or so has been just fabulous. I've learned so much of marketing that I can use for my own clients and for my own business. It's going to make me $1 million. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tracy Eaton.
I'm Yvette Shoulders.
And we're Street Smart Business Advisors. Now, before we joined the program, we'd actually hit rock bottom in our business. We've been in business since 2007. We were at zero, and in fact, less than zero. We invested well over $100,000 of our own money into our business and into other training that hadn't worked. So, with help from Mal and Ian, we decided to join the Business Advisor program.
The first 8 months, we went from below zero to earning a six-figure income.
Now, our lifestyles improved dramatically. We're able to be there for our kids, be great role models for them as well for now and the future, which is very exciting. And we've achieved some great results for clients, including best sales day in a 33-year history, 17% response rates on campaigns, a confident business owner that now does her own marketing campaign.
Share with our viewers a little bit about who you are and I guess where you came from, Saffron.
Yeah, sure. Well, I didn't go to university or anything like that. I left school when I was 16. I actually went to college and studied economics. Didn't like it, and just fell into becoming a secretary. I was a legal secretary for years, and by the time I was about 30, I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. I left that job and didn't have anything to go to. Yeah, so it's actually not long after I came to Australia that the relationship that I was in was, it was quite emotional. So the relationship broke down, and so that was quite a tough time.
You're in a new country. You and your husband have parted ways. You've got, I think, 2 children, yeah?
Yes, 2 children.
2 children, and so you've got to actually make ends meet on your own now. It's just great. Now, look, the end result. Your goal was to be working 4 days a week and increase. So you actually about tap into your income, Saffron?
So I actually managed to double my income by becoming a business advisor.
Actually, I knew I wanted to be an engineer when I was 13. So I'm the sort of person that plans my entire life. Like, I plan everything. So at 13, I knew I wanted to design bridges. That was it. The thing I love about it is helping people. And that was always what I wanted to do. Ended up with an engineer as well. So he's a civil engineer too. But we knew that there was something else out there. And we ended up having a business. We were working 7 days a week, 5 days in engineering, 2 days in the business, and it was a lot of stress. It was actually, unfortunately, a passion business. So we fell in love with it. It was a blueberry farm up in Coffs Harbour, beautiful place. And we imagined we were going to retire there, build our house there. We got taken for a ride. Our money got stolen, and it was heartbreak. It was so stressful that Steve couldn't sleep at all. And we still had to pay for 50 employees. So we still had to get everything running, the business going. It was the most devastating, well, I thought it was the most devastating day of my life. It wasn't. The next day, he had a heart attack. That was when I actually came to Street Smart. And that was when we started applying systems in place. And just to tell you the truth, I got told it was an ugly business. And I'm actually really, really glad that we listened, because we sold that business. I actually sold it for a profit. That's what made me realise that there are other people out there that don't know what to do in their business. So there are other people out there that need that help. And that's when I found Ian. And that's when he told me about the advisor program and told me you can really help people and change their lives. And that was it. That was my tipping point, my turning point. I knew that that's what I wanted to do, and to help people and to take control of our lives as well. So when you help an actual business, it changes not only their business, it changes their entire lives and the community and their family. And that's why I do it. That's why it's inspiring for me.
I'm really happy to have on the call today a good friend of mine, an individual that has really lived the principles that we do our best to share, and that is Glenn Twiddle. He's kindly agreed to come and have a conversation with us. And mate, I really do appreciate you taking time out and sharing your story and your journey to becoming a seven-figure business consultant and where that world has taken you to. So welcome to the call.
Thanks, Ian. And I tell you, mate, with an intro like that, I just can't wait to hear what I'm going to say. It's going to be awesome.
We got times where our sales guys can't deal with all the leads coming in the door. It seriously is that good. It comes from our absolute heart to say that we're here and we're telling you guys to actually listen to what Ian and Mel and the Street Smart crew have got to say. Follow it to the letter. Don't think too much about it and just do it. With all the things that are going on in your head at the moment with business, if you're doing it tough, those late nights where you're laying around tossing and turning, how are you going to make payroll? Stop concentrating on that and just listen to what Ian and Mel and the team at Street Smart have to say. And, you know, it's not one of these things that you can just go and do once. It's not a magic pill. It's not something you can just swallow and everything goes away. You've got to work hard at it. But if you do, you're incrementally going in the right direction, and then you can make that quantum leap. There's nothing worse than going flat out 100 mile an hour the wrong way. And with Street Smart, if you just go the direction that they say, concentrate on what they're doing, put everything else to one side and listen to them, it's going to work, guys.
And that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. If anyone has any questions, you can pop it in the chat and I will speak to it. If not, then I hope you've learned something today. Hit that button, that discovery call, and let's have a conversation and see if I really can help you achieve those goals that you're after. So I'll just hang around here for a minute or two and see if anyone has anything in the chat. Should get some Jeopardy music for moments like this. There's a few of you still on the training. Daryl. Okay, so Ian at Street Smart Marketing. I will put it here. Ian. Daryl said, what's the best email address? Okay, so that is it. And yeah, just hit that discovery button there. And again, I'm looking forward to talking to you, Daryl. Anyone else is there? Frederick, I'm almost completing my marketing business studies diploma. This will help you a lot, Frederick. It'll give you a lot of abilities that the people learning that academic angle, probably not as street smart as what we are. There's a place for both, so I'm not having a go at the academia, but it always pays to have that street smarts about you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to talking to you if you've applied, and hopefully you'll become another six-figure or even seven-figure business consultant. See you later, gang.